What is going on YouTube? My name is Lucas, and today we're going to be talking about, well, Workhorse and the United States Postal Service contract and what is going on with this whole entire thing. If you're interested in this subject, I suggest you stay tuned right after this. Before we truck.com up into this video, I ask that you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, comment down below, and now let's see what in the fuzzy panda this video is all about. Let's go! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to just jump right into this thing, and I'm going to start off with providing information from an article that is from Investor Place, and it's written by Will Ashworth. And I think it's very well written, and the reason I say that is because it hits on everything that is negative that was thrown at Workhorse from the aspects of Fuzzy Panda. We're going to get to, obviously, the trucks.com, article, but I think that this really kind of plays a big role and and paints a huge picture when it comes to understanding how hit pieces are put out and really just kind of a basic understanding of that. So swinging on over here, Workhorse Group took a hit early last month when Fuzzy Panda Research published a report that the electric vehicle startup misled investors on various issues, including the odds of it winning a $6.3 billion U.S. Postal Service contract to replace its aging postal delivery trucks. Through October 30th, Workhorse stock is down more than 33% since the allegations surfaced. This article was written on November 2nd, so keep that in the back of your mind. So continuing on, now this is going to get very first person, and he actually wrote this, obviously. Let's get something straight. I don't care how cocksure Fuzzy Panda is about its short position in Workhorse. If you, Mr. Average Investor, are dumb enough to listen to an organization that goes by the name of Fuzzy Panda, you deserve everything bad that happens to you on this particular stock. That actually really made me laugh. But in a way, it's kind of true. Investing is tough enough. But listening to Fuzzy Panda for your investment advice is pure idiocy. Even if it turns out to be right about problems Workhorse is experiencing with its trucks prototypes for the USPS contract, I can't and I won't take it seriously. And here is why. Now, he goes into a ton of information, starts off from the very beginning of when the company was really kind of starting out in 2007. And he goes into very, very good detail. And obviously, I'm limited to 15 minutes. One of the things that I want to talk about is, he states right here, my last article about Workhorse came a day before the Fuzzy Panda news hit the wires. I argued that if you were an aggressive investor, Workhorse stock ought to be on your watch list. And then he continued to say, maybe Workhorse doesn't have a shot at the USPS contract. And most certainly, its stock possesses a nosebleed valuation. But commercial electric vehicles will happen in large numbers, especially where the last mile is concerned. And the company is positioned better than most to take advantage of this reality, with or without USPS. And I think I do agree on most of that. I do feel that they are a forefront and a leader when it comes to, the USPS contract. But I think what he is really trying to say there is it hits home. I mean, it truly does. They are a leader when it comes to the last mile aspect. They have gotten things approved for their vehicles through CARB. They have a vehicle that was approved for 100 miles. They have a vehicle that was approved for 150 miles. They are currently in the process of getting the FAA approval for their Horsefly drone. They've done multiple things with other companies like Ryder, like UPS. So for them to just kind of be thrown to the wayside because hey, we're going to be doing this type of thing, I think that's very silly, and, those are things you got to keep in the back of your mind. So I'm going to continue on, and he goes to say, and my Investor Place colleague, Louis Navillaire, recently wrote about Workhorse and why he believes it's a strong buy. An investment in Workhorse is all about the future and potential for growth. The big prize is the USPS contract, but even if Workhorse loses out or lands just part of that order, the time for EVs is here. And Workhorse is in a position to take advantage of that on the commercial delivery front. There are also other catalysts besides USPS that bodes well for the long-term growth prospects of Workhorse stock, Navila wrote on October 27th. At current prices, this could be a good opportunity to hop on the Workhorse stock train. And if Workhorse lands that long-delayed USPS contract, even the 2020 all-time highs for Workhorse shares are going to seem cheap. Let's dive right into the Trucks.com article. Swinging on over here. Amid continuing COVID-19 concerns and in order to provide for capital investment activities and required approvals, the program's schedule has been revised and a decision is now planned for Q2 of fiscal year 2021. The Postal Service said in a statement to Trucks.com on Tuesday. The Postal Service told Trucks.com that it expects to reach a contract with one or more of the teams bidding for the business in federal government's second fiscal quarter of 2021. That works out to be the first quarter of next year. Why is Trucks.com the one that they chose to release this information to? And then I start to begin questioning why wasn't this put out by the USPS? And if it has, why it hasn't been released to the public? Do they have to? Those are questions I have, of course. But I'm very, very curious to why Trucks.com was the one that they selected to just tell, or did they just happen to reach out right at the perfect time? Who knows? Continuing on. The post office now uses about 140,000 Grumman long life vehicles for its main delivery service, manufactured from 1987 through 1994. They need to be replaced is what this article says. A 2014 audit from the Office of the USPS Inspector General found that the current fleet was expected to only meet the delivery needs of the agency through 2017 fiscal year. So the thing that I want to get across with that whole thing too is we have well documented and numerous pictures, videos, and all kinds of information that shows vehicles catching fire. USPS mail trucks catching fire, breaking down, being hauled away by tow trucks. This is an ongoing problem. This is something that is going to have to be fixed. They stated right there, uses of about 140,000. I would say that's probably well below that now because of how many have set fire, how many are breaking down. The cost of fixing and repairing those vehicles constantly, changing the oil, probably supplying gas. There's just a lot of maintenance, service, and, putting out fires going into these USPS trucks. I think obviously there is a need to make that transition. I don't think it's just going to continuously be put off year after year after year. Eventually, a decision will have to be made. So now what I'm going to do is provide you all the supporting evidence that leads to the USPS choosing Workhorse for some of the contract or all of the contract. And here's exactly why I believe they have chosen anywhere from 70 to 75%. Swinging on over here. Earlier this year, Workhorse's C-Series trucks received executive order from the California Air Resources Board, CARB, designating it a zero-emission vehicle. This bodes well for the company as it requires each of its vehicles to be tested as per norms set by the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, as part of its executive approval process. Workhorse partnered with HITACHI America in August to streamline its production and delivery process by leveraging Hitachi's industry knowledge in this field. We've talked about all this. This is very, very impactful. Another thing Hitachi is doing is going to evaluate Workhorse as a whole, which they've talked about numerously, and we've seen in interviews with Steve Schrader, the CFO of Workhorse. We've seen that. Workhorse entered into an agreement to sell 950 electric delivery trucks to the United Parcel Service in July, UPS, forming one of the largest EV orders on the base in the United States, EV orders of this base in the United States. The company also received a delivery order of 20 electric trucks from eTrucks Company. Workhorse has raised approximately $540 million over the past couple of months from institutional investors, supplying the company with sufficient capital to finance its electric truck production and ensure timely delivery of its existing orders. Obviously, we understand it was delayed a little bit because of COVID. When you have 30 to 35% of your production line down due to COVID, that is going to put a hindrance on. But we understand that one of their main focuses is going to be getting that backlog filled. Workhorse longtime strategic partner Lordstown Motors Corporation has announced a SPAC agreement, which we understand that they've merged and are now trading under their own ticker symbol RIDE. That's another thing. We have to understand that Workhorse still does own that 10% stake, and on top of that, they are going to own a royalty that's up to the 150 or 160,000 trucks of the the endurance that is produced. They get a 1% royalty off of that. Those are positive things. Workhorse's net sales increased 131.62% year over year to $564,707 in the third quarter ended in September 2020. It is currently in the process of manufacturing electric trucks with a production and delivery target of 1,800 vehicles in 2021. Analysts estimate the company's EPS to grow 50% in the current quarter ending December 2020 and 79.9% next year. The consensus revenue estimates of $1.54 million for the ongoing quarter indicates a 76,900%. That's a big percentage right there. Improvement from year ago value. Workhorse has gained more than 1,820% since hitting its 52-week low of $1.32 in March. The stock hits its 52-week high of $30.99 on September 21st. So keep all that in the back of your mind. And we're not even talking about the other things that have impacted this stock. There has been numerous other things. I mean, there is a tremendous amount of positive catalysts that people just throw to the wayside because they're solely focused and honed in on the USPS contract. We have to keep all this in the back of our mind. We didn't even get to really mention the fact that the FAA is, working on getting approved the Horsefly. The Horsefly is going through the FAA approval process. That's another step forward in the last mile delivery, a touchless delivery at that, with COVID still going on. What can the Horsefly deliver? Numerous things, packages, potentially food at some point, vaccines, medicines, pharmaceuticals, all kinds of stuff. On top of that, it's going to be coming off a last mile delivery truck at some point. These are all things we got to continually keep in our back of our mind as investors. I'm going to wrap this thing up quick because we've come to my favorite part of any video, and that is chart breaking down time. So let's swing on over here and see the damage that was done to Workhorse. Today it opened at $26.04. It got as high as $26.13. As low as $24.57. Volume was 9.758 million. Current market cap is $3.041 billion. 52-week high is that amazing $30.99. 52-week low is $1.31. Average volume is 23.71 million. So today it closed at $25.23. It was down 0.55%. In the after hours, trucks.com put out that that article causing the stock to drop 22.51%, rounding out the day completely at $19.55. I'm sure the damage has not been done completely. I'm sure it will continue down a little bit more. And the reason is it's just because this was a major hit piece. Let's just be real. That's exactly what it was. So take it as it is. Either you're going to get out and sell, or you're going to invest and see this as a buying opportunity. That's what it is. I appreciate you swinging by and checking out this video on Workhorse and the USPS contract. I do want to remind you, I am not a financial advisor, and anything I say in this video is for pure entertainment purposes only. And that's exactly what I'm here to do, is entertain. And you guys know how I do it. If you like this video, smash that like button. It helps out tremendously. And if you enjoy the content, because I'm going to keep the content flowing, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, have a good day. I'm going to go get some water.